Hey everyone, it's Marcus here with the JVC training team, and today we have a super exciting video because we're talking about our brand new Marine and Motorsports waterproof amplifiers. So we're gonna dive in and take a look at what all these amps have in common, and then we'll get into the specifics of what each amp has to offer. All in all, these amplifiers are designed to go where most amplifiers wouldn't dare venture. Now, the most exciting features that all three of these amplifiers share is that they're IPX6667 rated. Now that means that they're completely waterproof from up to 3 meters of submersion up to 30 minutes. So you can take these amplifiers in places that you never thought possible before. That also means that they're dust and dirt resistant, so you won't have to worry about dust and contaminants getting inside the amplifier causing damage. The outer coating is a salt spray corrosion resistant coating, so that means it'll go in those environments that are too harsh for other amplifiers to withstand. When you look at the chassis of this amplifier, it's extra thick, and it also offers an elevated chassis to allow water to drain underneath the amplifier in case the floor is wet where the amplifier is mounted. One of the best features is the fact that we have thicker mounting feet. We know that the conditions may get rough and rugged off-road and offshore, so we wanted to make sure these amplifiers don't break off their mounts and end up dangling from their wiring harness. Now, moving to the inside of the amplifiers, we've taken the protection level even further. The first thing we did is get rid of the standard capacitors that can often come loose whenever you're off-road or in a rough environment. So we've replaced those with a polymer multi-layer capacitor that was actually used to measure seismic activity on the Mars rover. So you can say that there's actually space-age technology inside these Marine and Motorsport amplifiers. Each one of the amplifiers features a magnetic shielded output coil. Now this reduces noise inside the amplifier by 30%, giving you crystal clear sound from your amplifier. Now we've also protected the internals of the amplifiers by using extra thick heat transfer sheets between the body of the amplifier and the circuit board. This protects it from vibration and impact, keeping all the internal components from feeling that shock of the harsh off-road environments. So overall, the design and engineering of each one of these amplifiers is meant to give you the best performance, sound quality, and reliability in that harsh off-road motorsport and water sport environment. So let's take a look at the specifics of each one of these amplifiers and see how they can fit for your application. So now that we've reviewed what makes all three of these amplifiers so rough and rugged, let's dive into what makes the KS-DR2104DBT special by unboxing this piece right here. So this is a 4-channel amplifier and an included receiver. So let's skip the theatrics and get the box open. Taking a closer look at the KS-DR2104DBT, this amplifier offers you 50 watts by 4 at 4 ohms and 75 watts by 4 at 2. Now that we have the Bluetooth controller and the amplifier unboxed, let's take a closer look at what this amplifier and receiver combination has to offer. Now the best thing about this receiver and amplifier combo is it gives you the versatility and everything you need minus the speakers you're going to use to set up a stereo system in just about any vehicle. This could include classic cars, ATVs, motorcycles, or anything of that nature. Here's what's included in the box with the KS-DR2104DBT. Here you'll find the operation manual, the warranty card, which this amplifier includes a 2-year warranty, our Bluetooth receiver here, our Bluetooth receiver flush mount install cup, and a piece of 3M tape to surface mount the Bluetooth controller, a bag full of 4 stainless steel screws, and 1 included screw to mount the receiver in the back here on the inside of the flush mount controller. Now let's take a closer look at the KS-DR2104DBT Bluetooth receiver. Now here you'll see we have several mounting options built into the receiver. You could use the included socket mount to flush mount the receiver. Now if we take a close look at the back side of the receiver, you'll see here that we have an included 1/4-20 thread. Now this is perfect for using action sports camera mounts to mount this on something like a handlebar. You can utilize their mounting styles to give you more mounting configurations with this Bluetooth receiver. Now taking a look at the front of the receiver, you'll see here in the middle we have a tactile volume knob that makes it easy to access the controls while wearing something like gloves. We have our pairing and pause play button here in the top left corner. We have our track back button here in the bottom left corner, and on the right side we have our track forward button. And we have a EQ button here that also serves two purposes. One, it can serve as your pre-out control by pressing and holding and then adjusting the volume level while monitoring the lights that show and indicate what level of volume output you're using for your pre-out. That means you can add a secondary amplifier like our subwoofer amp here and use it as a bass control. Or you can use this button to adjust the sound from our 7 preset controls. And right here in the middle are our 2 red LED indicators that let you know the system is paired or ready for pairing. So taking a closer look at the amplifier, you'll notice that the wiring harness is built into the amplifier. Here you'll see that there's a 10 gauge power lead here with an included 40 amp fuse holder. Next, you'll notice that we have a 10 gauge ground wire as well. And here is our remote turn on. Now this connector is specific to the Bluetooth receiver. So this is a proprietary system that requires that Bluetooth receiver to connect to this amplifier and output music. You'll see some RCA outputs for an extension to this amplifier. If you would like, you can actually add either one of the D-class monoblocks or the 4-channel amplifiers if you need more amplification after this system. So you can use the Bluetooth receiver and the amplifier to provide signal to another amplifier running a different set of speakers. And here you'll see our speaker connections for both your front and rear speakers. Removing this metal cover reveals the silicone seal on the back side. This is what keeps the dust and water outside of the amplifier. And it's important to note that the screws also have a silicone seal, so please be sure to return these in the proper position. You also want to make sure to put the cover back on after you've made all your adjustments to keep the outside elements from damaging the amplifier. Now, let's take a closer look at all the adjustments on this amplifier. The first adjustment you'll see here is a fader control. Now this is important for an amplifier with a built-in receiver like the Bluetooth receiver included with this amp kit, because there's no way to adjust the front to rear fader. Including the fader allows you to adjust for differences in sizes of speakers. So if you're using a larger speaker up front and a smaller speaker in the rear, you can level those speakers to match equal outputs. The next thing we'll notice down here at the bottom is a filter EQ selector switch. You can choose to use a low pass filter or a high pass filter or a complete pass through. And each channel has its own adjustment for those filter settings. Here is your rear and here is your front. And you also have the same selection options for the rear channels as well. So here you'll see our output selector switch. You could choose between 2-channel configurations that includes 2 speakers, 4-channel configurations that includes 4 speakers, or a 3-channel speaker configuration mode, as in you're running a set of 6-inch speakers and a subwoofer. So there's several adjustment options available to give you the best configuration for what you're looking for.
JVC,